Welcome back.
Hope you're having an amazing start to the new year. We are so excited because we're finally getting started on the tiny home build.
The first video of our build. It's been a pretty slow start to the year, particularly with businesses only just opening up for the year, but also we did not realize how long wait times would be for products, organizing things, ordering things, shipping things.
So because of all that, we decided we were going to start on the outside and get going on building a deck bigger than the tiny home.
So the tiny on the ground floor is about 20 meters squared. The deck we're planning is going to be around 30 meters squared, which is going to be huge. Not only are we going to love having the deck straight off the bat, but it also means when we are doing the build inside, we're going to have a nice dry level surface for us to be able to either move stuff from inside to outside or even just cut materials, plant stuff, etc. So it wasn't what we originally were going to do, but I feel like it's going to really help us in the long run.
But the added challenge with this deck build is that it has to be completely movable so that when it comes time to move the tiny, the deck can come with us.
But you can't build a deck without wood. So we're going to head into town and we'll see when we get back.
Woo! We made it back from town. That was chaos.
It was a lot longer than anticipated being in town, so we're not going to start the deck until tomorrow. But while we were in town, we also picked up a very exciting package.
This little guy. This is the River 3 UPS from Ecoflow.
Obviously, our tiny home has no power or electricity whatsoever. And while we are in the process of figuring out everything we need with solar panels, batteries, inverters, everything, we still need power. And that's exactly where the River 3 comes in. It's super small and lightweight, so even once the electricity is set up in this house, we're still going to be able to chuck it in Bruce and take it as our portable power station when we're on the go and shooting for jobs. So I'm going to go plug this little guy in, and then we're going to go set up a nice cozy little movie night down here in the lounge room. An added benefit of the new River 3 is its UPS ability, meaning if you have a power outage or a blackout, you're able to seamlessly keep all your appliances charged and plugged into power.
From the beginning of this tiny home journey, we really wanted to make a conscious effort to enjoy all of the phases of the build and not just focus on the end goal of a finished product. So this Arvo, we're turning our makeshift lounge room and bedroom into a cozy movie room thanks to a bed sheet, a couple of clamps, Max's projector, and the River 3 to power it all.
Fully charged in under an hour and able to charge multiple devices at once. So cool how this has an inbuilt inverter already. So we've got 240 volt for your main household appliances, but then it's still got your USB, USB-C to be able to charge multiple devices simultaneously. It really is a perfect plug and play for home and on the road. For more info about the River 3 UPS, you can click the link in our description below. See you guys in the morning for building this deck.
It's deck day!
So excited to be getting stuck into the deck. First things first, framing. I built a rectangle. Gotta celebrate those little wins, huh? On to the next one. This is probably like the 10th shower we've had all morning. Building in a rainforest, don't recommend. Without undercover, I do not recommend. Second rectangle done. This rain, I think I've worked for a total of maybe like 10 minutes today, over like 3 or 4 hours, in and out of the rain, putting everything inside, coming back out again. So I think we're just gonna call it a day already. I feel like it's been such a frustrating day. But that's all right. The rest of the week looks sunny. Hopefully the forecast is correct. Not the ideal first day, but hey, that's what happens when you live in a rainforest. After arguably the least productive first day on site, we have sunshine and I think it's here to stay. In the rain yesterday, I just leveled out this first rectangle here. So at the moment it's just very dodgy, super makeshift to get it level so that everything's where it should be. I've clamped it to the trailer where I can now figure out where I'm gonna put my footing holes and then I can start cutting the posts. At the moment it's just gonna be sort of like 4 corners to just get it set. We'll do the same for the other rectangle and go from there. Hopefully it's smooth sailing, but having good weather is the best news we could have today.
Best thing ever. This is amazing. Sun is shining, tank is clean. I don't know if you get that reference.
Let's get into it.
super random side quest, but we got our Starlink, which is what we use to connect to internet around here and have our own Wi-Fi because there isn't much signal around here. But I don't know what it is, but I'm notoriously terrible at opening things. And I found out when I went back to the States, my dad is as well. Like, I don't know if that's genetic or what, but this, I was like, oh sweet, this will be easy for me to open. It's like a nice pull tab there. No, nothing. And I swear I read instructions, but even then, notoriously terrible at opening things. Just trying to be a help while Glenn actually does the work. Ridiculous. There's another side to this, so watch. Like, how on earth am I supposed to open this? Honestly, that is glued shut. You'd think that that would open after opening the side. Can you help me? How would you open this?
What,
I've ripped open both sides. Oh my.
It's literally the
That
most
was-
intuitive box, sorry.
That was the back of it. Okay, see what I mean? Like, no, I actually just made a fool of myself, so I hope you enjoyed that.
Nice. All right, it's pretty rough at the moment. Nothing screwed in. It's all clamped in place. I've just got to give it a quick little run around, make sure it's all level before I actually start wanting to solidify it all. The plan is for it to be almost perfectly level with an ever so slight fall to this front corner. Basically, we just don't want there to be any slope whatsoever sort of angling back at the house and onto like the plot. Basically, it's almost bang in the middle, tiniest bit this way so that the higher side's here. We're making sure that it's almost perfectly level, slightly sloping with the hill to this far corner. That way, we won't have any weird like pooling water or anything going on towards the house. I'm pretty stoked with how it's looking so far. There are a few little like tweaks that I need to make to the footings, but in terms of actually like making sure it's square, it's level, it's a really good start. Now I guess I'm going to start trying to put in a little bit more framing that we're going to want to do before I end up joining the second rectangle to the party. Because once they're fixed, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to start screwing in from the backside because there'll be two planks next to each other. It's slow, it's hot, but we're getting somewhere. All right, now we're just gonna try and guess the height. Once we get it up kind of at a height, we can manipulate it, but getting it there is gonna be quite a challenge. It's fine for now. Now grab that end. You wanna try and lift it up onto those whoop. Hold. That is dodgy as. All right, so yeah, just stand there for now. Got a few extra heights we need. All right, that's better. Now you might be wondering why Max isn't as hands-on with this deck as I was with his deck, but today we actually got a surf in the morning and Max was really keen to help me get stuck into working on our deck this time, and he ended up getting a massive gash through his earlobe and at the back of his ear. So he ended up having to go to hospital. He spent most of the day there getting stitched up. So I don't know whether he did it on purpose or not. But now the shade is on us. There's only a little bit more that I want to get done today. I've been absolutely cooking, but I feel so much more productive today. So I'll put a couple legs down, we'll get it nice and level, and then it'll be prepped ready for tomorrow to just get stuck straight back into it again. There's nothing more satisfying than how smooth all of these guys meet up. Now, because we spent the time leveling this, making sure it's square, level, and everything's really solid already, this is what we want to go off for this side. So I'm going to screw them in here. The rest of the deck's pretty precarious, but if I've locked this down to be exactly level the whole way along, flush at either end, this is our starting point, and then we can get level relative to this, because the last thing I want to do is try and get everything level and realize I'm like a centimetre too low or centimetre too high, and the decking boards won't run flush. With that theory, hopefully it works. So I'm going to screw these guys together, and then we can start putting some posts in before we lose this light. All right, the deck is level. I've got the external supports all on the outside. Don't worry, I'm putting in way more, but right now I just want to get it solid locked in and level. They're all currently just sitting on top or clamped in place just to make sure that in case I needed to adjust any, I could go back and not have to unscrew or like mess around with anything like that. So now that I've got everything in place, I'm gonna screw all of them in and then we can keep going building out the structure of this deck. All right, day, whatever it is, I don't know, 3 or 4. The previous few mornings, we've actually gone out for a surf in the morning and then come back. But today's gonna be a scorcher and I don't think there's really any waves. So I'm making the most of being in the shade early on because today is going to be even worse than the previous few days. I've got a hook in and now putting in all the extra fittings, so not just the perimeter, but actually beefing out the middle as well for more support. Hopefully I'll get that done before the sun comes and starts baking me. And the hottest part of the day, I gotta get a few more supplies from town and then hopefully finish off the long side of the deck as well. Let's get into it. Still pretty early days and this sun is a killer. I've been chewing through all the batteries. They're overheating, they're dying super quick. I've got these posts on this side finished and now I'm in a race against the clock. I've got this little sliver of shade left. So I'm gonna put some cross supports in this side while I've still got a little bit of shade. But then I think I'm gonna be out of timber for this section. For the worst part of the day, it means I can go run into town and get some extra stuff without having to sit out in this sun because it is a killer today. Now this might not be news to anyone, but all the projects I've ever done, I lose pencils all the time. They're often not sharp, I'll break them, but now, look at this thing. It's like a pacer, but really solid for construction. It's got a little sharpener on the end, comes with a bunch of replacement leads, and you got a little holster so you never lose it. I'm yet to lose this pencil this whole build, which is a record for me. I feel like I go through so many pencils on anything like this. Now just whip it out. Done. Stoked. Highly recommend. If you're aware of it, congratulations because you figured it out before I did. Now, I'm under the deck with Leo. Oh mate, I thought I'd planned for everything, but I just hadn't fully thought about doing these crosses before butting it up against the house. But still got access. It's just a lot more difficult. Why did I choose to? Made this way harder on myself than it needed to be. It's nice and cool under here, eh? Like. Alright, that's this side done. Got supplies. Sun is still cooking, but I've just got to watch that shade slowly try and take over. So I'm gonna get stuck in with a little bits of timber that I have left that I just got. I'm gonna whack in the cross supports there. I'm then gonna put in a few more footings here and hope that shade comes quick. Tell you what, doing a lot of high knees recently. Here's a good tip. Don't leave your screws in the sun. They're bloody hot. Ooh. I don't know if you can see. It's getting so much sweat dripping on my glasses. Whew. Oh my God, I don't even know what temperature it is right now. It is so humid. Oh, that shade is slowly coming. There you go, sit in the shade. So in typical fashion for this project, I got one board away and it started pouring down rain yesterday.
Just about sums up this project.
So we're gonna quickly put on the last board and then make sure this fits. Now you might be wondering why I did the joists as like a separate unit, but the main reason is because I don't have access to the screws from that end. Now it is a bit over-engineered as a deck and I could have just stuck with doing cross supports and whacking them in if any of you deck people are out there, but I felt a bit more comfortable doing it this way, super solid, and it means I could make it separate. So hopefully I put this last bit of timber in, we'll slot it in and hopefully everything lines up. Because if not, then what I
It has to, we have no other option.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, moment of truth here.
Moment of truth.
Did it go?
All right. Nice.
She's looking good.
Looking good. Looking really good. Oh, I'm stoked. It fits.
Now what?
It's a great question, Kendall.
Is it ready for...
No.
No?
So now, got to add a little bit extra support, secure these tops down, and then we basically have the framework for our deck. Frame is finally done. Oh, I'm so relieved. It's actually taken it quite a while. There's a lot of just like finicky little things, but I'm so relieved it's done, and I'm really, really stoked with how it's turned out so far.
Yeah, Glennie, you've done an amazing job. I'm so proud. Really exciting news though, and perfect timing. Our deck boards arrived this morning. We went with bright decking and we got the shade tawny, so we're really excited to share that with you in the next episode. We also have a hidden feature that we're putting in the deck, so if you've been paying attention during this episode, you might know exactly what we're going to be doing, but have a guess in the comments below, and then we'll see you next week. I don't ever